Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world.
We just left Hawaii and we're on our way to Raiatea, and we are very close to the wind. It's almost exactly on wind, so we're a bit slow, but we're going the right direction, so we'll rather stay a little bit too close to the wind than lose ground. It's only about 25 nautical miles, and it's a beautiful day out, so it's a good day to be sailing.
Our first stop in Raiatea was a river mouth where we would go up the river with the dinghy the next day. We have read that there are 2 free mooring balls in the river mouth and about 20 meters deep, or one could anchor closer to the mouth in shallower water. Luckily, we were the only boat upon arrival and we grabbed one of the mooring balls. The mooring ball we picked up wasn't in fantastic shape, so we put Avanti in reverse and gave a bit of throttle before we left for the river.
We are going up the river in Raiatea, the Faro Valley, I think is the name, or the Faro River maybe. And it's so calm, it's just us going up the river. Well, going backwards now that we've stopped rowing. We need to keep going.
The river is quite shallow at the mouth and we had to row a bit before we could start the engine. It becomes nice and deep and one can easily motor right up to the Botanical Gardens, which were our next stop. The water was like a mirror and it was quite confusing seeing the perfectly still mirror image of the trees reflecting in the water.
So after our little river cruise, you tie up to the dock at the Botanical Garden that's open 7 days a week, from 7 to 7, and it's free and you can just walk around this beautiful garden. It's got some signs as to what flowers are where and what trees are what kind. It's really well maintained for something that's got no fees. There's this flower that we've been seeing everywhere and I thought it was 3 different colors that it has, but the truth is the flower is actually bright yellow in the morning, and the afternoon it goes more of an orange color, and in the evenings it goes bright red, and they fall off the tree at obviously different stages of the day. So the flower that we've been seeing on the ground everywhere has been the 3 different colors, but we haven't seen them on the tree changing colors. But in the tree itself now there's a bright yellow one, and then the orange one is on the left and the red one is on the right.
Similar to all the private gardens we've seen throughout the Marquesas and the Society Islands, these botanical gardens are kept in prime condition and is extremely tidy. When we arrived back at the dock, a local farmer called Andre, who farms right across the river, invited us to take a tour of his farm. He showed us some of the fruit and veg that he grows and gave us some green beans, rambutan, It's a lychee-like fruit that's family of the dragon fruit and some passion fruits. He works this whole piece of land by himself, and everything is 100% organic, with no pesticides used at all. He also grows lime, oranges, pineapple, guava, coconut, and some herbs like basil and rosemary, to mention a few. On our way back to Avanti, we see some local fishermen fishing in the river mouth, and we're very happy to see that Avanti is still on the mooring ball where we left her this morning. Today I'm tasting another Tahitian craft beer. It's a Manavai, and it's an IPA, Indian Pale Ale, and it's got 6% alcohol, so it's a little bit stronger than the others. 330 milliliter bottles, and the cost of this one, it was actually on special in the shop for $3, so not a bad price compared to the other beers, and obviously a bit of a special, so that's good. Let's see how this one tastes. It's not filtered and it's not pasteurized, so doesn't last that long, especially outside the fridge. And you'll see it's quite cloudy because it's not filtered at all. You can see there's a lot of like sediment in the beer. So yeah, let's see how this one tastes. It's quite fruity, like an IPA should be, but not like overwhelming. I don't like it when there's like an overwhelming pear taste, but this one is actually not bad at all. So I think in terms of the taste, the cost and the size, and the bottle's got a very nice label as well. It reminds me of the Marquesan Islands. I would rate this IPA a 7.5 out of 10. Cheers.
Tonight we're having poisson cru, the French word for raw fish, but it's actually cooked in lemon juice, and this is the Tahitian or French Polynesian traditional dish, the national dish, and it is raw tuna that's been chemically cooked in lemon juice. And then we're gonna add some carrots for the salad. We've been seeing this in all the restaurants, all the snack shops. It really has been everywhere we've gone in the islands, from Marquesas all the way, the Tuamotus, and some tomatoes, and then some onion. And then the one ingredient that makes it different than ceviche, that's the Latin recipes, or poke bowls, that's Hawaiian, is the coconut milk. So what they do is they actually add coconut milk to this dish. Ooh. And the poisson cru au cocolet is ready. We're having dinner while watching the sunset, and it came out okay. It's not the restaurant quality ones probably, but it's a really nice change of our normal menu. So really nice dinner. This morning we're on our way between Rataya to Tahaa. So we've got Rataya in the background there. And there we have Tahaa. And these two islands actually share a lagoon. So you don't exit one lagoon and go out the next. You actually stay in between them in the same lagoon. And then, Rataya was different than what I expected. It's not like the other French Polynesian islands where, it's the blue waters and the white beaches. Rataya doesn't have that, but Rataya is very important to the French Polynesian people culturally. Some of their biggest cultural important spots are actually on Raiatea. So, important island for the locals. I think we would have learned a lot more if we had time to do a day tour to learn about the history and why it's culturally so significant. But we are running out of time. Our visas expire in, I think, about a week's time. So we still want to do Tahaa, which is the island in front of us. We're going to snorkel their coral gardens. Tahaa is also famous for its vanilla. It's got a very special vanilla that doesn't have bugs to pollinate it. So they actually pollinate the flowers by hand, which would be really cool to see. I don't think we're going to have time because we want to get to Bora Bora and still make sure that we can find a weather window. We need to clear out and have a safe weather window for our crossing over going west. And we still actually haven't decided if we're going straight to Tonga or if we will be able to stop in Samoa. It all depends on the wind direction. So lots happening in the next week, and not much time left, unfortunately, in this beautiful part of the world. Tahaa has a few mooring balls available that are owned locally and charged for, but they only have 2 places left to anchor. It's either on the sunrise or sunset side, east side or west side. On the western side of the island we had a pretty cool view of Bora Bora.
We just finished our first snorkel at the Coral Gardens in Tahaa, and I must say it's a close second to the corals we snorkeled in Whakarava. It's completely different. There's no sharks and no deep passes here, but there's a lot of very nice coral and lots of new fish that I haven't seen before. And we saw an octopus, a big one, and it was amazing. It changed colors, it swam like, it looked like the sand and then camouflaged itself in the coral. Very nice to see it. I hope we see some more of them. Thank you for exploring Raiatea and Tahaa with us. Next week we arrive in the famous Bora Bora. Thank you to our Patreons who support the making of these videos monthly. If you'd like to join the gang, you can find the link in the description below. Alternatively, please remember to like the video, leave a comment or subscribe. See you next week.